7:36 now. We're also talking about alcohol this morning. Health experts say if we drink too much, we'll be at greater risk of cancer, liver disease and heart problems. In fact, recent guidance from the NHS states there is no safe level of alcohol consumption and that men and women should aim to drink 14 units or less of alcohol each week. However, a study commissioned by the Campaign for Real Ale claims that the public disagree. Well, James McEwen is from the Alcohol and Drug Service in our region. Good morning to you.
Well, good morning.
Tell us first of all then, what do you make of this? The Campaign for Real Ale saying that the public disagree. We don't think that we should be limited to 14 units of alcohol.
Well, I think if you look at the research, they say that they talked to 2,000 people and just over half have an issue with that. But that's probably because they don't really understand the impacts of alcohol.
What do you think?
Well, abuse is a word that means different things to different people when it comes to alcohol. If we just pause for a moment and think, do we know somebody in our circle of friends or family or work colleagues that has been adversely affected by alcohol? And the fact is that all of us do. Every single one of us knows somebody. And yes, there are plenty of people who seem to be able to have a drink and be sociable, but we can all think of people whose lives have really been seriously impacted. And if we pause to think about that, that will help us get the right kind of perspective when it comes to alcohol.
Well, it does, but at the same time, we still, it's so confusing, isn't it? Because first of all, you have to work out how many units there are in your drink, then how many is safe to have. So it isn't left to common sense, is it? We are supposed to follow guidelines.
Absolutely. And we have credible guidance given to us. And I'm not a medical expert, but I'm happy to listen to the guidance that is based on research and has been given. And for Camra to come out and simply undermine that without suggesting any alternative, I think is a little disingenuous at best.
We've got this image of health professionals with their heads in their hands thinking, what are you doing, Camra? These are not just made up, these guidelines. They're part of medical research, and they might be in some way undoing the good work that's been going on. But if we talk about the guidelines themselves for a minute, 14 units doesn't seem very much. If you're going to drink yourself to ill health, the guidelines really don't mean a lot to you anyway, do they?
Whenever we hear something that's kind of out of context, something like 14 units, we struggle with what that would really mean. We have produced actually an alcohol screening test that you can do if you're concerned either for yourself or for a loved one. You can just go on to alcoholscreen.org.uk and fill out 10 questions that's likely to indicate to you whether you actually have an issue and what kind of help might be available to you. And these are very simple questions like how often do you have a drink and how many standard alcoholic drinks do you have on a typical day. But then eventually it will get into kind of how often during the last year have you found that you were not able to stop drinking once you'd started, or how often have you failed to do what was expected of you because of drinking. Very quickly you can build up a picture of whether the drinking that you're doing is impacting your life in a negative way.
Justin, it's been interesting talking to you. Thank you very much. That's Justin McEwen from the Alcohol and Drug Service in our region. Later this morning, we'll speak to our local representative from the BMA, the British Medical Association, on this subject. And you can talk to us about it this morning. Does a guideline when you're out having a drink mean anything at all to you? Are you thinking, blimey, I'm just about to hit my 14 units a week. I should stop doing what I'm doing. Or do you think we need guidelines in place just so that we know if we're having too much? That website he mentioned, by the way, Justin mentioned to do the test yourself, is alcoholscreen.org.uk if you want to do that.